And I'm Ben Swan, filling in for Steve Malzberg. Believe it or not, summer just winding down, and the first day of school, yes, I can hear my kids weeping in the background, is just around the corner for kids all across the country. You know, you might have heard the term Common Core quite a bit in the news lately. It pertains obviously to education. Back in 2011, President Obama was touting Race for the Top funding and Race for the Top programs, kind of AKA Common Core. Listen here.
We need to teach them that success is not a function of fame or PR, but of hard work and discipline. Our schools share this responsibility. When a child walks into a classroom, it should be a place of high expectations and high performance. But too many schools don't meet this test. That's why instead of just pouring money into a system that's not working, we launched a competition called Race to the Top. To all 50 states, we said, if you show us the most innovative plans to improve teacher quality and student achievement, we'll show you the money.
I'll show you the money. That's Race to the Top, but some people are calling Common Core the race to the bottom. Now, what exactly does Common Core mean? Is it good for our kids? Here to talk about this is Bob Bowdon. He is a Common Core opponent. You're not a big fan.
Critic is the word I use.
Critic, okay. Yes. Executive director, though, of Choice Media. So let's just make this very clear, because a lot of people confuse Race to the Top and Common Core and how it's all connected. Common Core is a set of standards that were designed for English and math.
Right.
Race to the Top is funding that different school districts and states are eligible for. However, you cannot receive Race to the Top funding if you do not adopt Common Core standards. Do I have that correct?
Well, mostly.
Okay.
So Race to the Top was a contest between states, and then they later expanded it to school districts became eligible. And you got points for a bunch of different things that were considered reform-minded that the President's Department of Education agreed with. So Common Core was a big part of that. You got extra Race to the Top points. But there were other initiatives in Race to the Top that I supported, like getting rid of caps on charter schools in states. So that was a good part of Race to the Top. So Common Core is a set of standards for English and math, as you pointed out, but it's also, there's another piece which is called the assessments. Those are the Common Core tests that were developed by two consortia, and that probably is, in my mind, more problematic.
Let's talk about this for a minute, because the Common Core standards.org. Common Core is a set of high-quality academic standards in mathematics and English language arts and literacy. These learning goals outline what a student should know and be able to do at the end of each grade. That's what Common Core standards are about. And actually, I think for a lot of people in the beginning, it made sense. Oh, you have a single set of standards, and that's great, and then we can all kind of follow along with this. That's if, of course...
So if a kid moves from, and they can do third grade in Louisiana, then they move into fourth grade in Texas, there's some connection to the material.
Right.
That was the original.
That's the idea.
Right.
Now, some of us would argue that trying to, be so formulaic when it comes to education is never a good thing. And let's face it, it does not translate into better students. When we standardize testing, we standardize curriculum, the result of that over the past 40 years has never been positive, has it?
No, I mean, you're absolutely right. Brookings Institution did a study where they looked at the states that had better standards based on the Fordham Institute's rankings, and their study showed no correlation between higher standards and better achievement. The point is a state could vote on these standards, or you could have these education departments decide on them. Still, an individual teacher closes the door and runs their own classroom, and the question is, does it really change, will these new standards really change how good a teacher is at explaining geometry or explaining, reading skills, et cetera? The evidence is no.
No, the evidence is no. I will, full disclosure here, explain that I'm actually a homeschool student, and now I came out of a homeschool background.
That's why you're doing so well in life.
I homeschool my kids, but we have a curriculum through a private school that is Common Core based, and as a homeschool dad, I can tell you it makes no sense. The math makes no sense. It's very, very difficult to follow along with. Teachers across the country have rejected it, saying it doesn't make. In fact, there are school districts, as you well know, that send home cheat sheets with kids to say, here's the answer, because we don't know how to explain this to you.
It is a mind-numbing, bizarre, somewhat surreal, unholy alliance where actual teachers' unions and Tea Party groups agree
on something,
on the issue of opposing Common Core.
Well, I'll tell you who has not agreed for a long time have been politicians. So in Ohio, where I'm at right now, when Common Core first came along, there was a lot of discussion about the fact that Governor John Kasich supports Common Core. We actually, and other new media, were reporting on this long before the bigger media got involved in it. Now, Governor Bobby Jindal has come out and he's pinned kind of the, I think we have a picture of it here, but he has pinned the latest Newsmax magazine cover article, the revolt against Common Core. He's turned his back on it and rejected it. Are you seeing that beginning to happen across the country where more politicians are beginning to say, all right, let's undo what we've done here?
Oh, sure. Indiana was the first state to be. Some states were never Common Core to begin with, by the way, like Texas and 4 others.
Very few.
Right. Total of 5. But some states like Indiana had been Common Core, then reversed direction. Oklahoma had been Common Core, reversed direction. Now Bobby Jindal wants Louisiana to be another such state, although just this week a judge ruled against him in terms of his efforts to reverse Common Core there, and he's fighting his own Department of Education. Yep. His own hand-picked leader in his education department in Louisiana is pushing for Common Core.
And I will tell you this, for states that we've done research on, it's very difficult to get out of Common Core once you're in it. It's a very strange program. It's not as easy as just saying, today we're not going to do it anymore. I do want to show you, though, it's such a contentious issue. This soundbite is the head of a teachers union, I believe in California, talking about Common Core and his frustrations. Let's play that.
They took our standards away from us. We're going to take them back from them because that is our tool. We are the teachers. They are not the teachers. It is our profession. So I stand here in support for this for one simple reason. If someone takes something from me, I'm going to grab it right back out of that cold, twisted, sick hand and say it is mine. You do not take what is mine. And I'm going to punch you in the face and push you in the dirt because this is the teachers. These are our tools. And you sick people need to be away from us and the children that we teach.
I'm going to punch you in the face and push you in the dirt. Nothing drives home the point that the teachers' unions are led by dignified, respectable academic professionals, right? Like such as that gentleman. No, I mean, the fact is that we just mentioned that many of the teachers' unions are turning away from Common Core. This was not an example of that. This is an example of a teachers' union
that wants to retain it.
That wants to retain it, right? So there is,
there's disagreement, there's arguing, but what it comes back to is, when he talks about punching you in the face for taking what's mine, the fact is the kids in those schools are not yours, right? They're our kids. So what's important for people to remember is that you have less voice with Common Core, less ability to reject curriculum because superintendents don't have a say. The state doesn't have a say. It all comes from one centralized location. I'll give you the last word quickly.
Well, they will tell you no, that it's state-led, that a state can modify Common Core, and they can also, and in fact, that they will say that a state can pull out if they want, as has been proven the case. But it's
and that's it. Tom, we're out of time. I apologize, but thank you so much. We'll be back after this.